How's it going, American truckers? How are y'all doing out there tonight? Well, I'm up here in Wyoming, up in the middle of nowhere. I was just thinking about something that kind of baffles me. And I've thought about it a few times over the years, and I wonder if any of you ever think of the same thing. Hold on, I'm gonna roll this window up, because I'm sure this phone is picking up that reefer back there behind me. Anyway, every company I've ever worked for, the safety department is never ex-drivers. It's usually people that've been to college or people off the street. And I understand one aspect of it, because basically they're running numbers. They take a driver, he's a number. He has an accident, what are the odds of having that accident? How many of those accidents has he had? And they run algorithms, basically. You take the human element completely out of it. They also take out the fact that that driver may have driven 1 million miles, or 2 million miles, or 2.5 million miles. So they don't ever figure that in there. And I'm all about safety. But I really feel like part of a safety department, especially the one dealing with the drivers, should be ex-drivers. When drivers get too old or they get health issues, that's a good position for them. You can interview them, kind of weed them out, pick the ones that got some sense, because a lot of drivers don't have no sense. But that really is a position that should be for former drivers. Let me give you a good example. A button hook turn. We all know that button hooks are illegal. But I guarantee you every trainer out there listening to this right now teaches their student how to do one. I teach mine how to do one. Here's the reason. When you deliver up in New Jersey, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, and some other places around the country, you don't have no choice. You're either going to do a button hook or you're going to take the telephone pole out. No other choice. You try to do it as safely as possible, and you try to watch that right side so that a car don't sneak up in there on you when you swing to the left to make your right. But and safety could take into consideration, looking like pulling up Google Maps and looking at it. But even then, it really needs to be an ex-driver to know whether there's enough room there. Could that driver had made a proper turn? Is that the only route that the driver had to that shipper or receiver? So and those kind of things never get taken into consideration. I've had my mess ups, and I've dealt with safety before. And all they care about is, oh, you hit something? Okay. That's it. Whatever the situation might have been and whatever was going on, none of that's taken into consideration. But it's because you're dealing with someone that doesn't know. They don't know our job. Plain and simple. They like to sit in there and talk about how much they know about our job. But be realistic. They don't know our job. They have no idea what we deal with on a daily basis. At all. Usually when I call into the office and I get a former driver, I got a little bit more respect for them. And I don't mean it in a mean way, but it's because that person knows what I'm dealing with. They know where I'm at. They know the situation I'm in, regardless of what it is. Whether I got stuck behind an accident and I'm running late, or whatever the case may be. You know, they're better to deal with because they understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But safety especially. You know, I haven't been in any trouble in a while, but it's when I do get in trouble though, it always bothers me that the person on the other end of the phone that's judging what I did has never done my job. You know, this guy coming in next to me is getting really close. And almost way too close. But anyway, let me kick the light on back here. Alright. But it always bothers me. You know, excuse me, I was watching the guy next to me. He was backing in. It was getting a little bit too close. But it always bothers me when the person judging me doesn't know my job. It'd be like me walking into a bank. Let's say I go get a degree in accounting. I walk into a bank and I tell the banker that he's not doing his job properly. Okay, yeah, I may have a degree in accounting, but I still don't know his job. I've never done his job. You know, how do you know what he could have done differently? You know what I'm saying? Button hook turns being one of them. Yes, there are times drivers do them when they don't need to be done. And if you have an accident in that situation when you didn't need to do one, yeah, there's a problem. You're judging your distance incorrectly. But there are times that you need to do them. And you just try to do it as safely as possible. The other one that always kind of gets on my nerves is old boys driving down the road. The road is fine. It's clear. It's winter time. Road's clear. He gets 5 miles up the road. You know, you might be changing counties because different counties take care of the roads differently. Crosses the county line, all of a sudden the road goes to crap. You know? I mean, now if he has a jackknife, if anything happens, he's probably going to lose his job. And here's the crap of it. I call it playing Monday morning quarterback. He's going to call safety, and they're going to play Monday morning quarterback with him. They're going to tell him what he did wrong after it's already done. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell everybody, just shut down. Don't risk it. You know, I do it. I'll shut down in a heartbeat. I will not risk it. Because I know no matter what I got behind me, no matter how late it is, if anything happens, they're not going to take anything into consideration. All they know is Snapper had an accident. That's that. That's a wrap. You know, so I don't risk it. Just a few weeks ago, I hauled a load from El Paso, Texas to Decatur, Alabama. When all that snow hit down there in Texas, you know how long that trip took me? A week. I spent a week. 2-day trip, or 2.5-day trip, really. I spent a week on it. Wasn't risking it. Hell no. No, sir. Not happening. You know, but anyway, I just wonder if any of y'all ever thought of that. If you have, drop a comment. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not in any trouble or anything like that, but I'm just curious if any of y'all have ever encountered that, or maybe one of y'all work for a company and have a safety guy who is an ex-driver, and can let me know if it's any different. You know, not saying drivers should get away with anything. I mean, there's a time when a driver's wrong, there's a time when they're not. Just depends on the situation, you know. But I do believe drivers get dinged sometimes, and they have to bite the bullet because they're dealing with someone who isn't a driver and they don't know. They're basically reading a script off a screen. This driver did this, this is what I tell them. Basically it. I mean, if you've never done the job, that's all you can do. I don't care how much education you got. That's all you can do. These companies could save a whole lot of money and just start hiring drivers. Because I'm sure, they're paying these guys with college degrees a whole lot of money to do these jobs. But anyway, just curious if any of y'all have ever encountered that, if that's ever been an issue. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm kind of keeping it a little dark. I got a truck just moved in next to me, and I don't, try to make this video, but I don't really want him thinking I'm talking to myself in the front seat. Last thing I need is somebody showing up at the truck with a straitjacket at 2 o'clock in the morning, wanting to pick me up. But yeah, it's always kind of baffled me. It's always, been there in the back of my mind. Ever since I've been driving, I've always wondered that, why those are jobs drivers should be moving into. And I've always wondered why drivers don't move into those positions. I know part of the reason is because driving's a mind-numbing job. And if you don't do something to stimulate your mind, it kind of goes. And that's why you meet a lot of drivers that seem really out there or really dumb. It's because they don't do anything to stimulate their mind, so their mind just fades away, turns to mush. And it'll happen to you out here. It'll happen to you pretty quickly. I take 10 minutes a day and I read every day. I make these videos, and although these videos are not real complicated, I mean, it gives me something else to think about. And I enjoy helping people out there. But yeah, I'm just curious about that. I had something else I was going to mention, but it done slipped my mind. I guess I need to do a little bit more reading, because I just completely forgot what it was I was going to mention. But I had something else I was going to bring up. But yeah, it's unusual to me. Anyway, I hope you drivers are having a great night. I hope y'all are staying safe out there on the road. Keep it between the ditches, and remember, we're all family. If you see somebody struggling, try to reach out there and help them. For all you trainers out there that got students, try to treat them right, try to teach them right. I remember what it is now. This is what it is. One more point, and then I'll get out of here. The industry has a huge driver shortage. I know some drivers will argue that, but look, I mean, I got a degree in logistics. I have friends that are brokers. One of my former students is a broker. One of the reasons that the rates are real high right now is because there is a shortage. Almost 93,000 drivers short in the industry as it is. No company out there right now is covering all their freight across the board. No, none of them. This morning I was looking at freight near Fort Wayne, Indiana, because a buddy of mine's out there. He's an owner operator. He was looking for a load. Helping him out, trying to train him up a little bit because he's new to that, and I've done that in the past. So, but anyway, when I brought up loads within 100 miles of Fort Wayne, Indiana, there were over 1,000 instead of 1,000 plus. There were over 1,000 loads within a 100-mile radius of Fort Wayne, Indiana. All the influx of people ordering online and everything else that's got freight through the roof. And at the same time, you still got yahoos that are not former drivers firing drivers for making mistakes on the road at a time when the industry is already 90,000 plus trucks short. I mean, you see what I'm saying? A lot of it just doesn't make sense. It's weird. I mean, I don't know. I was smoking a cigarette and brainstorming and thought I would just kind of make a little video about it and see what y'all thought. I'd like to hear y'all's comments on it. Anyway, y'all have a great night and take care.